Today we'll be testing two leaves for starch. First, we're going to be looking at the variegated hibiscus leaf, followed by another leaf which is very popular in Jamaica. It's pretty much invasive. This leaf is called the Caronilla leaf. They call it bees bush in Jamaica. They call it, some persons call it rice and peas, but it bears this pink flower. Now this leaf will also be used in our drawing lab. So pay attention to both leaves. One is variegated while the other is not. Alright?
Due to COVID, I'm home. I'm actually doing the lab from the stove in the kitchen. I actually got a beaker to borrow from school. So we're doing the lab at home so that our students can have an appreciation. So if we were at school, this setup that is on the stove would have actually been this. It would have been the Bunsen burner under here with the tripod, that three-legged stand, wire gauze, and the beaker on top with water. But due to COVID, we're unable to do that, so we have done everything we can for our students. We took these things home and we are still carrying out the labs so the kids can see it online and be able to have an appreciation.
Last year, many students differed on their CXC exams as they were afraid of failure due to their level of readiness. This year, Mr. Wilson and his experienced team from tcpacademy.teachable.com is here to help you get exam ready. Subscribe for free to tcp-academy.teachable.com. We offer courses in CXC Biology, HSB, English Language, and many others. There are several offerings to each course. Enroll in one today.
Okay, so this is this setup at home. We would like to know the apparatus, what has been used for the lab. So I'm going to be showing you here. We have a test tube rack with a boiling tube. The tube is much bigger than the test tubes, and we have some measuring cylinder around here, and right here we have we like to call it a tweezer. We use this to remove the leaf or spread the leaf on the tile, the white tile. It's not a tweezer, I think it's called a forceps. And then here we have iodine. We have a wooden splint, and the wooden splint is what we would use to light the Bunsen burner. So you would just simply ignite it here. I would then come on over with a splint here. And if we remember anything, we remember that oxygen will relight a glowing splint. So that's a glowing splint. If it should get some oxygen, then it will just start blazing again. Alright, that is a lot by itself. And then here we have, now there's always some confusion, this being the test tube holder versus this being the test tube holder. In some cases this is called a test tube rack, and this is called a test tube rack, and this is called a test tube holder. But this is actually used to hold the test tube when it's hot.
Metal test tube holder, while this is the test tube rack.
This here is the dropper. We're going to be using it for to apply the iodine to the leaves as soon as we are ready. So I'm using one hand to tape and one hand to show you this stuff. So I'm hoping that I'm thinking and I'm doing just about everything right. So I'm going to be putting in the variegated leaf now into the water. You can see that the water there is all boiling, and I'm putting the leaf in the water here. One of the things that we want to explain, the first thing we wanted to do, in a matter of fact, was to ensure that we have an appreciation of a color of the leaf. This is going to be our first observation, so we need to write this down. What is the color? And then at the start, we needed to know what was the color of the water, because we really don't want to make any mistake. So here, the first step here is to find out why we had placed this leaf in the water. So you have to figure that out or do some research. All right, we're going to continue. So that one is in the water, and you need to tell me why it's in the water there. And then we are going to do the same thing with the Caronilla. It's in the water as well. boiling water. So you know what will happen if your finger get in there. So I am at home. I'm praying that I won't get myself in any trouble before the end of Corona, carrying on chemicals to do labs on my stove and to assist you. But I think God will see us through. Alright, so we're going to remove this now. So you will remember when we removed the variegated leaf from the water, it had the clear color just the same. But having placed the caranilla leaf in the water, you observe that the color has somewhat changed. Now this is a part of your observation that you will need to record. Now we're going to move to the next step of the lab, and we need to turn off the flame. So look, the flame will go out. So with one hand holding the camera and the other, I'm pouring some alcohol. Into the boiling tube, and then I'm going to be putting the variegated leaf into the boiling tube. You want to ensure that the leaf goes right down into the alcohol, and then you want to put this now in what we call a water bath. So the beaker with the hot water there is called a water bath. And now we're going to be putting the boiling tube with the leaf. The leaf is in alcohol in the boiling tube, and we're going to place this now into the water bath. So it's in the water bath there, and we're going to allow it to stay there for a little while, after which we are going to remove same and make another observation. So just let it stay there for a little while. I'm going to come back in a few to show you what happens. Remember, when I placed it in the alcohol was pretty clear. It had a color of water, so to speak. Some would say water has no color. This is an important part of your observation. If you observe, the fire is off, but if you look in the boiling tube, you see what's happening? What's happening? Can you tell me? It shows sign that it is boiling. Now, yes, it is boiling. There it is. And why is this so? Alcohol water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. However, alcohol would boil at 78 degrees Celsius. So if alcohol is boiling at a lower temperature, if you were supposed to expose the alcohol to open flame, tell me what you think would happen. Alright, so that's a part of your discussion. Why wouldn't you put this alcohol over open flame? And then the next part you want to look at is, why is the alcohol boiling? That's a part of your observation, and for the discussion you are going to explain. You are going to do the why in the discussion. So for safety reason, I'm holding this away. I'm holding the camera with one hand. Now that's another bit of observation. Look at the color of the alcohol. Can you see? Look at the leaf. Now another thing that we want to do, we want to feel the leaf to see what it feels like. Now pretty much this is what we had, right? Pretty soft. There we go. Pretty soft. This was the original. This is where we started. Now we're going to be looking at the leaf. We're going to be looking at the leaf. Now the leaf is out. This is what the leaf looks like. Remember what it looked like earlier. And another thing, you're going to be able to determine this from where you are, but it is crispy. It is crispy because it would have lost some water to the alcohol. So now we're going to be applying iodine to the leaf, so as to test for the presence of starch. And if starch is present, we're expecting to see a blue-black color. Let's go. So we're applying the iodine to the leaf now. Now, wherever there is starch, remember it's a variegated leaf. So some parts of the leaf had a pretty light color, while some part had a green color. Now look at what is happening. We're going to give it a little bit of time, and then we're going to look at it, and you are going to do the write-up for this lab. Right, so we're testing a variegated leaf for starch. So let's give it a few seconds and then we'll get back. Alright, that's the color of the alcohol we're using. You have to watch this video because I'm going to be flashing the name, the correct name for some stuff at the top. Alright, and here we have the open flames here. We're going to turn it off. We're going to place the leaf in the boiling tube with the alcohol. Look out for the name that we're going to be using. And then we're going to be placing this boiling tube with the leaf into this water bath. Now it's a hot water bath. This is not a hot water that you would want to have a bath in. Alright, so we'll put it in there. We're going to be looking out for something. Remember when we looked at the variegated leaf, we said then that the alcohol, from our observation, the alcohol started boiling. Let us see what will happen with this leaf. Alright, there we have some motion. Something happening there. Something happening there. Alright, while we wait on that, just let us look at the experiment at hand. Now this is the variegated leaf. My lighting is not so good, but you will observe that there are you have parts of a leaf that is pretty light in color and parts that are really dark. Now the dark area there, while my camera doesn't give you the best of color, that is the blue-black color. Now you are supposed to tell me now that light color, would you say that there's starch in that area? Remember, wherever there is starch, you should see a blue-black color. Now, not everywhere on the leaf we're seeing a blue-black color. That dark color that appears to be black to you, that is a blue-black color. Alright? So, make the determination for me. Please do not do this experiment at home. We're having some boiling taking place there. In your chemistry class, you'll tell us what's boiling. So this is the finished product. The leaf is still in the alcohol, and this is the color there. Not the best at camera, but I'm thinking that you are seeing the color. We're going to be removing this now. Put it in the hot water. Just immerse it in a hot water bath, and I'll tell you why in a bit.
So the leaf was immersed in hot water, or it could be immersed in any water, to soften it, because having removed it from the alcohol, it was crispy. So here we have the cornula leaf after the iodine was added to it, and this is the variegated hibiscus leaf, and this is what it looks like at the end of the experiment. Thanks for watching.
Last year, many students differed on their CXC exams as they were afraid of failure due to their level of readiness. This year, Mr. Wilson and his experienced team from tcpacademy.teachable.com is here to help you get exam ready. Subscribe for free to tcp-academy.teachable.com. We offer courses in CXC Biology, HSB, English Language, and many others. There are several offerings to each course. Enroll in one today.